Thank you. As this is the first debate in which the Assembly will hear from Mr Neil Somerville, I would remind the House that it is the convention that a maiden speech is made without interruption. And you were present yesterday during another maiden speech, so I'm sure that you're aware that there is a health warning attached to this. But can I call Mr Neil Somerville? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. It is a great honour and a privilege to participate in this debate today here on behalf of the Ulster Unionist Party. This is, of course, my maiden speech, and as it is customary, I would like to pay tribute to both my predecessor, Tom Elliott MP, and the constituency of Fermanagh and South Tyrone. I know all too well that Tom was a tireless worker for the people of the constituency. From Dungannon to Balleek, he was held in high esteem because of the amount of work he put in and the results he delivered on behalf of all sides of the community. Tom received his reward in May when the voters returned him to Westminster as their Member of Parliament. I would like to place on record just how much I am looking forward to working with Tom and indeed my council colleagues on behalf of all the people of Fermanagh and South Tyrone. I was born and bred in Auchnacloy, was educated there and have spent most of my working life between Fermanagh and South Tyrone. I will continue to work for and represent this constituency, the most westerly in the United Kingdom. In Fermanagh and South Tyrone, we have some of the finest scenery in the British Isles. We have the lakes of Fermanagh and the rolling hills of the Clocker Valley. It is a rural constituency where agriculture and agri-food industry play key roles in the local economy. In Dungannon, the ancient capital of Ulster, and in Enniskillen, we have two of the finest county towns in Northern Ireland. I promise to be a firm advocate for this constituency and all its people. Having read through the bill and listened to the comments of other speakers, I am pleased to say that there is much here that is common sense and, if implemented, will improve the administration of justice in Northern Ireland. The bill affects 4 areas. 1. It aims to improve current arrangements for the collection and enforcement of financial penalties. 2. Improve the provision of prison services in Northern Ireland. 3. Improve upon current statutory provisions in relation to sex offending. And finally, 4. Improve lay visiting arrangements in police stations. I am a firm believer that the punishments must fit the crime, and I am certainly not a supporter of soft options in terms of sentencing. For me, punishment and deterrence are key aspects of the sentencing policy. That said, it is clear that our justice system has had to deal with a significant number of people who have failed to pay fines, and it is not cost-effective to see them jailed for short periods. I understand that over the 3-year period from 2010 to 2012, over 6,000 people went to prison for the non-payment of fines. Most of these were what is termed relatively minor offences, example, motoring convictions, and the average time spent in prison was 4 days. In addition, the police were tasked in executing up to 30,000 warrants a year. Quite clearly, there is a case to be made that this is not a good use of police time or prison capacity. I am content that the consultant process has resulted in provisions within the bill relating to an expanding use of community supervision and a civilian-based system for collection of fines, largely removing the police from their current enforcement role. I would, however, seek assurances that non-custodial sentences are not seen as a soft option and that the meaningful punishment is the order of the day. That is important in order to maintain deterrence. I am broadly content with the proposal to create a statutory office of prison ombudsman. I am acutely aware of the difficult job which we have asked our prison officers to do. The ordinary rank and file officers have great concerns over staff morale, manning levels and staff safety. I would appeal to the Minister that the Ombudsman does not become an instrument for prisoners and ex-prisoners to conduct witch hunts or petty grievance cases against a brave body of men and women who are charged with doing a difficult job which few of us wish to do ourselves. With regards to early removal of prisoners who are foreign nationals, I am content that Northern Ireland should adhere as closely as possible to the arrangements and operations in the rest of the United Kingdom. It is, however, important that sentences should be seen as appropriate punishments and of sufficient severity to deter others. People who have committed offences should have their liberty removed and their lives disrupted. Northern Ireland should not be seen as a soft prison regime. The provision with regard to lay visiting in non-contentious having already been agreed with the Policing Board, and therefore I have no desire to reopen that debate. The provisions with regard to the possession of extreme pornographic material is one of which I wholeheartedly agree. It will extend the existing offence of possession of extreme pornographic images to include the possession of extreme images of rape or other non-consensual acts. It is an offence which exists in England and Wales, and which the Justice Committee has asked to be brought forward to Northern Ireland. I imagine the entire House will be happy to support this proposal. Mr. Speaker, I look forward to playing my part in the Justice Committee, and I am content to support the Justice No. 2 bill.
And I call Mr. Stuart Dixon.